Hi, and welcome to the pre-registration for the school year 2021-2022, and we are your school counselors. So if your last name starts with A through D-E-L, I am your counselor, and my name is Mrs. Robertson.
Hi, I'm Miss Horton. I'm your counselor if your last name is D-E-M through K.
I'm Miss Ainsworth, and I am your counselor if your last name is L through R-I-L.
Miss Skemp, and I'm the counselor for the students with the last names R-I-M through Z.
Hey, and I'm Mrs. Presley, and I'm the counselor for the Online Academy. So we're talking about pre-registration today, and you're going to be invited to the Google Classroom, and by the time this airs, you will have been invited. If you have not received your invite through Google Classroom on your Havasu Online account, please contact me, and I'll go ahead and give you access. When you're in the Google Classroom, make sure that you go to the current grade level. So if you're a 9th grader, you'll go to 9th grade. 10th grade, the same thing.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about credits. Mrs. Presley has sent your grad stat to your Havasu Online email address, so make sure you navigate to your email, pull up your grad stat, and let's take a look. Our graduation requirements for English, you will need 4 credits. 4 credits for math, starting with Algebra 1-2, Geometry, Algebra 3-4, and 1 more. If you are university bound, that 4th math class has to be pre-calc or higher. 3 credits for science, 3 credits for social studies. As sophomores, you take world history, juniors, US history, and seniors take civics and economics. 1 year of PE taken at your freshman level, 1 credit of a CTE or fine arts class, and 7 elective credits. So again, your grad stat will be sent to your Havasu Online email address, and Mrs. Presley has taken notes on that. So take a look at that, pull that up, and let's get started. So looking at your graduate status. So the first column are the classes that I just went through that are required. If you notice, you need 23 credits for graduation. The second column are the classes you have completed with your letter grades and credits earned. The third column are the classes that you currently have in progress. And the last column are the credits that you need in order to graduate. On your student view account, you also have access to a different version of your graduate status. However, it is broken up a little bit differently, but it still has the exact same information. Again, 23 credits total for graduation. The second column has the credits completed, what is in progress, and what is remaining.
So the first thing that you'll need to look at is the core classes that you need to take. And your counselor, Ms. Presley, has made some recommendations on your grad stats, so please pay attention to those. In just a minute, we're going to pull up Google Classroom and show you where you can find your course selection sheet to see those options of those core classes. And you're going to find the appropriate next class that you need to progress to in each of the core subjects. Some of the classes have grade requirements or prerequisites, so check the course description guide. One example of this is honors classes. So we're going to go to our Google Classroom, and this is what it looks like when you're in classwork. So you'll see 8th grade pre-registration. That's not your current grade level. We do have some general high school registration materials that we'll talk about later. And then here are your grade level course selection sheets. So if we take a look at 10th grade, if you're going into 11th grade, you would view this material. And you can see for the core class of English, you have a few different options. Junior English, Junior Honors English, English Essentials, if you're in that right now, or 10th through 12th, read 180. These classes would be based on what you're in. So if you're currently in sophomore English 3-4, you would do the first one, which would be the next level. Same with math. Geometry goes to Algebra 3-4. There are a couple different options with that. If you're already in Algebra 3-4, you can choose pre-calculus. You can choose dual enrollment math, which does require an application with MCC, or you could choose Math of Money. Note that Math of Money is not university approved. This continues for your science options, and you do need 3 years of lab science, your social studies, and then your electives. So those are what it looks like if you're not sure where you progress to next. So again, here's another way to look at it. English 1-2 goes to English 3-4, then 5-6. Okay, Algebra 1-2 proceeds to geometry, then Algebra 3-4. So this is a progression that you could follow if you're not sure which class that you need to take next. So there are some other options for you, and there are some flyers in that general high school materials. In the Google Classroom that we just went over, there are WAVE culinary classes that you can take, beginner and advanced, honors, dual enrollment, and advanced placement courses, concurrent courses with MCC that you can start with some of their programs, like the CNA Nursing Assistant Program, their welding program. There are also graduation requirements that Ms. Ainsworth just went over, and college requirements if you're wanting to go to university. There are also different requirements for out-of-state schools. And there's information about summer school. Summer school will be online this year, and it is free.
Ms. Horton, could you go into the Google Classroom and open the DE and honors flyer so we can go over that real quickly? Just to point out, okay, for honors classes, if you're wanting to take an honors class that you're not currently in, you would need to have a 3.0 overall GPA with a 3.5 in the subject area. If you're currently in honors, you do have to maintain a B or better. Advanced placement, so typically for juniors and seniors, if you're looking at taking an AP class, we do have several options for you. You do have to meet the honors requirement. You will have to take the AP exam in the spring, and that fee is approximately $95 per exam. Okay? And our dual enrollment requirements, again, you must meet the honors requirement. You will have to complete an MCC application. So if you're a sophomore and looking at taking DE classes next year, you do have to start with the application online. And then MCC will actually get in contact you with additional information that they will need from you.
Thank you, Ms. Ainsworth. Now, Ms. Robertson is going to talk to us about electives.
Actually, I want to go back to core classes for just a moment and talk about some of the new things that are happening next year with our sequence. So for those of you who are going to be seniors, we have three non-honors options for English. We have regular senior English, which is British literature, and then we have world mythology, which has been a one semester class, but now is a full year class. So you get to learn about mythology around the world. And then Shakespeare is a full year course where you're studying all about different works of Shakespeare. And so those are your three non-honors options for English next year. And then you have dual enrollment. And those are just for seniors, but I just wanted to point those out real quick. The other thing that I wanted to touch base on is our science classes. Science is a little bit different next year, and I wanted to go through that on our sheet here. So in ninth grade, students are going into either integrated science or biology. But then if you're in biology right now, instead of going into chemistry, you're going to go into physical science. Physical science is a combination of chemistry, physics, and earth science. So you're going to get a lot of information in that physical science class. So if you are a sophomore are going to be a sophomore or going to be a junior, you're going to need to take a physical science class. And so you don't have a lot of options for science going into sophomore and junior year, but there are several options going into your senior year for science.
Thank you, Ms. Robertson. Do you want to go into electives now?
So we have electives that are going to, you're going to choose 4 elective choices are going to be your top 4 choices. So you're going to have 2 electives each year, and we want you to choose 4 so you have your top 2 and 2 backups. So you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to the sequence level. Just like our core classes, which go in a sequence, you want to make sure that you're in the correct class, you're choosing the correct class for your elective. So if you, for example, have taken art or intro to studio graphics or intro to graphic design, then the next year, if you want to take that class again, you would go into intermediate. Some of the classes go from fundamentals to intro. Some of them are different titles. For example, our second one on the screen is the first year of automotive is CTE automotive maintenance. The second year of that is CTE auto tech. So it doesn't necessarily say fundamentals and then intro, but it is shown on your course selection sheets in the order that you can take those classes. So you don't want to select an advanced level class if you've never taken the first year of a class. So up on the screen, you'll see in the top right-hand corner, you'll see the engineering auto maintenance, and then the second one is auto tech. And then under that, we have software and app design. The first one is intro to software and app design. The second is intermediate. And so you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the level of the class that you're signing up for, and you're not signing up for something that you're not actually qualified for. Also, some of the classes that we offer do require an application or an audition. And so you want to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do to get into the classes you've selected. So the first one on our list is WAVE Culinary. If you're interested in our culinary program, you do need to contact WAVE. So Mrs. Desper is one of our teachers, and you would contact her if you are interested in signing up for culinary. You'll also choose it as your electives. Culinary is a 2-period class, so it would take your 2 elective periods. So unless you are going to have 3 electives by taking summer school or something like that, then it would count as both of your 2 electives for next year. And so you'll sign up for it and you'll contact Mrs. Desper. For intro and advanced marketing, you will, that is STUCO, so you'll need to be elected into student council. For early childhood, there is an application for our intro class. And so if you've never taken our intro to early childhood class, you will need to fill out an application, which does require 2 teacher recommendations and a TB test. And all of that information is in the Google Classroom under high school information. For night voices, you will need to do an audition, and the audition information is in our Google Classroom as well. You'll contact Mrs. Sutherland. And for stagecraft for musical productions, which is musical theater, and stagecraft for show productions, which is acting 3-4, you will need to audition with Mr. Fallis, and there's a flyer in our Google Classroom about those auditions as well. So you'll want to make sure, if you want any one of those classes listed on the screen, that you are doing what you need to do and filling out the correct paperwork to take those classes. So we have our culinary information, our audition information, early childhood information, and there's not student council information, but we will, you'll be hearing about that as well if you're interested. So lots of options. Just make sure you fill out the right paperwork or contact the right person if you're interested in one of those classes.
So to find out what classes you're going to be requesting, we're going to have you do an electronic form. And this is where you'll be choosing your courses for next year. And Mrs. Horton, could you show the elective sheet one more time, please? Just a reminder, some of our electives are 1 semester. So if you do pick a 1 semester class, you will have to pick another 1 semester class. And on the pick sheet, you'll be able to tell if a course is a year long or 1 semester based on a number behind it. For example, the nutrition and wellness, you will see that there's nothing behind that. That indicates it's a 1 semester class. Whereas anything else like the early childhood has a 1-2, it might have a 3-4. That includes information that tells us it's first semester, second semester, year-long classes. So just something to consider as you're looking through the electives. So if you want to, so on the Google form, if we're going to click on that, we're asking a couple questions about you to get your background, so what you want to plan to do after high school so that we can guide you through the correct courses that you may need. And then you're going to, so that gives us a clue about your future. And then we have a few more questions, just so we know where you're at. And then you're going to pick what class, what current class you're in to go to the next screen. And that's where you're going to start choosing your classes, your core classes and your electives. One thing to consider is if you are planning to do summer school this coming up summer, and I'm going to use for your current freshman and you want to take the world history class in the summer, then you will not choose that as one of your electives except where it says LHHS summer school or non-LHHS summer school. So you're letting us know your plan about summer school and what classes you will be taking. And then you wouldn't put that as part of your request. And the reason you might take a social studies in the summer is to take an extra elective in the following year. So that might be important to you. Some of you may want to take, maybe in need, especially older students in need of credit recovery. That would be an option as well to help you catch up on your credits. And again, there's a place in the survey that talks about that, if credit recovery is an option for you or something you would like to consider. And then we're going to have more information about our summer school sign-up starting on April 1st. So when you do the survey, you're going to put your email in, whatever email you use most of the time, your school one or a personal one. And then that should be, once you submit the survey, you will get the responses in your email. So you have a list of all your classes that you've chosen. Again, you want to look at your pick sheet to get an idea of all the classes. And when you're doing the elective choices on the survey, they are in the order of the pick sheet. So if you're looking for something, you can say, where is it on my pick sheet? So you can go a little faster through the elective choices. And there's even a screen after your 4 choices that you can even include more electives, such as marching band. Because that's really an addition to your other 6 classes. And so it's just some things to consider. And one of the other things you really want to put down at the end, the last one, is comments or questions to your counselor. Give us feedback of information about you. If you've passed, had a teacher in the past and didn't pass with that teacher, maybe you can give us a little heads up and we will try very hard to accommodate that you don't have the same teacher. Just little tidbits about you to help us create a better schedule for you.
All right, so you've got your Google form, you've got your grad stat. Now we're gonna sign in to Student View. Please make sure that you log into the website, and you're gonna do this not on your phone, not on an app. You need to go directly to the website. Also, many of you may log in as your parents. You're not gonna be able to access choosing your classes through your parents' account. So if you cannot access your Student View as a student, go ahead and contact me and I'll give you access. All right. And I guess, how do I tell if I have a student account or a parent account? If you log in and you see course request, you have a student account. If you don't, you have a parent account. All right, once you have gone to course request, you're gonna see a blue box where it says click here to change course requests. Make sure you do that. We're only going to use the course ID box, and you're gonna find those course IDs on your pick sheet. Mrs. Horton showed that to you earlier, but again, it's on the pick sheet. So if you're interested, for instance, in English, you're gonna take senior English, you're going to type in HENG08 in the course ID box. Or in this example, you're gonna type in HENG04 if you're in sophomore English. All right, you get 2 of them that pop up. And the reason that you do is English 3 is semester 1 and English 4 is semester 2. You're going to click the add request button on both of those courses. You must take both of those classes in order to earn your English credit. All right, you're going to make sure that you do this for every single class. Early release, if you are a senior and you are looking at only needing 4 classes, you need to tell your counselor, do you want your release at the end of the day? So you're gonna have periods 5 and 6. Otherwise, you might end up with classes all randomly placed. So give us all of that information so you get the best schedule possible. All right, here is your math lesson for the day. You need to have 6 classes total. You need to have 6 credits total or 12 requests. Make sure that you have 12 lines completed on your course request. Again, you're not done until you've had 12 requests in student view. All right, there is more. You need to make sure that you give us your alternates. And really, some of you may go, why do I have to have an alternate? Oh, you know what? As a school counselor, I'm gonna really have fun giving you classes if you don't give me choices. So this is where if, for instance, a class is full, or maybe you've already taken something, or you've decided to take social studies in summer school, but you've put it on your request, then I'll know what extra elective that you want. Again, you're gonna need 2 credits of alternate so that we have good choices for you and we don't have to hound you and try to find you all summer long in order to fill your schedule. So again, these would be your 3rd and 4th choices on your pick sheet. All right, here's how you can contact me. You can email me, you can set up an appointment through Calendly, or you can call. And again, here's the Lake Havasu High School counselors. They are assigned by Alpha. So A through DEL students, you would contact Mrs. Robertson. DEM through K, you're going to contact Mrs. Horton. L through RIL students, Miss Ainsworth. And RIM through Z students, Ms. Skemp.
If you have questions over the summer, these would be who you would email, especially if you're planning on being on campus in the fall.
And I'll be setting up some drop-in Zooms for you so that if you have some questions, you can contact me directly during those Zooms and they will come out through your PLP account. All right, have a great day.